Welcome to this video where we are going to have a look at how we can use PnP Modern Search to show what's actually is stored in the containers that we are using for SharePoint Embedded. Normally those results are not available in SharePoint Search, but or in Microsoft Search, but we can actually tweak it a little bit so we can see those results in PnP Modern Search. What you see here is Visual Studio Code and the SharePoint Embedded extension that is available for SharePoint Embedded development. What we have here is our two containers, which we have created based on the app that is registered as well on this one. And those two containers, you can think of them like document libraries because that is sort of the idea behind them. It's just containers where we can put our documents for our specific purpose, because SharePoint Embedded is usually intended for a scenario where we want to store the documents, but and gain all the benefits of SharePoint. We just don't want to see the user interface. We want to create our own user interface for these documents. As part of this one, we also have the ability to have a look at those sample apps that come with this extension. These allow us to have a look at how the flow actually goes when we are dealing with the graph calls. And it also allows us to have a look at what's actually stored in these files. So have a look at what we store in these containers. So if we switch to this screen and we have a look at our two containers, which are available, we can see them that they are running in the local host one. So we're just having a look at our content here. If we look into these two, we can see that there's two documents in this container and likewise in the other container. So these files have been uploaded about 20 minutes ago, so they should be in the search index right now. But the way to have a look at what's in the search index when we're dealing with this one is to have a look at what's how to do that is to use Graph Explorer. Normally we would look for drive items, because drive items is files, just the name we use when we're dealing with graph. So if we do a search like this one, we will actually not see those files because it's sort of like hidden away a little bit. What we can do instead is that we can tweak our request a little bit, and we add this include hidden content. This one is a key property for this one. So we should have to add that, and then we should also add our container type ID. The container type ID you can either see in here, which is the most convenient way to do that. So have a look at the properties. We can see the container type ID is stated up here. So if we go back on this one, as you can see here, I run this query and I get a result. I get a total of 4, which is the number of files that we expect. So that makes it available for us so we can use it in here. Well, now we can see it in the Graph Explorer, but that's just not going to cut it because we want to see it in PnP Modern Search. So that's what we'll have a look at now. So this is a setup where we'll have to look at the SharePoint embedded content. What we have here is just a results web part, as you might have seen before. And if we go in here, we have nothing special. Well, we're looking, of course, we're using Microsoft Search. We're looking for drive items and nothing else. What's new in this release is that we have these two options here where we can show SharePoint embedded content and we can also show some Microsoft Archive stuff. But we want to see embedded content. So let's tweak this one on. And then we have to specify which container type ID we want to have a look at the containers that we are looking for. I have that already in my keyboard up here. So we have the container ID type ID, and we have the ID number that we saw before when we were back here and looking at the containers. So that is the way we can do that. If we apply this one, now we are back at the 4 documents that we were actually expecting to see. So this makes it possible for us to surface this one fairly easily without having to create any new kind of user interface. We can just select that we want to use Microsoft Search, specify the container type ID, and enable this toggle where we want to see embedded content. And of course, if you want to see something else, you have to specify the fields that you would like to be returned. And then you can have a look at it in, for instance, in debug mode, where we can see all of the various properties that are being returned by the search index. I hope you found this informative. And of course, it's still pretty early days when we're dealing with SharePoint embedded and also using it in PnP Modern Search. So if you have any additional requests or comments on the way it's implemented right now, then just let us know. And we prefer input on the repository for PnP Mod Search because that's where we deal with all the issues and suggestions and discussions. So if you have anything, please give us a call there because we monitor that one regularly and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.